Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Dragon Ball Z Budokai. It's the series that for some reason took way longer than I expected. But don't worry, because that doesn't mean we're going to stop. Well, the end goal is inside, we can see it, we're visualizing it, we will make it come true. What I have for you today is going to be that end goal. Well, part of it anyway. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finishing up the what ifs, and then I'm going to show you some of the Hercule stuff, and that's a wrap. In this otherwise slightly flawed game that I love, but man is it flawed. So this is the Cell if he were to win storyline.
Look, 17, accept the fact that you're mine.
Which, by the way, he was giving it ample chances to win. The president he visits and attacks couldn't have choked away him more if they tried.
What are you doing?
I offered you a peaceful solution, but I'll show no
Why the androids had such a wish for death, I will never know, but we can all agree that there's about 4 or 5 opportunities given to them throughout the show, or the saga, where they could have clearly have gotten the hell away from Cell, but they were just so hell-bent on hanging out that it cost them dearly. I'm telling you, the Cell saga, if you step back and analyze it, is nowhere near as cool as it seems, because it... I don't know, man. Like, I guess I can only accept so much ineptitude when it pertains to villains and, you know, whatever, counterparts. If it's a well-written narrative like Frieza, I mean, let's be real. Frieza, although he, you know, wasn't exactly the brightest when it came to how he approached getting the Dragon Balls, and at least he was defeated with, like, a purpose, so there wasn't ever a point... I've said this well time and time again. There was never a point in which Frieza was in danger of losing. They played it off like he was in danger a few times against the form that, you know, Piccolo and, you know, actually that's the only time, is the second form against Piccolo is the only time you ever really get the feeling that maybe there's a chance Frieza's going to lose. Otherwise, it's never in doubt. Up until Super Saiyan Goku. Which, that's a well-written narrative, because it's like, you build up this climax of like, oh man, there's no way anybody can stop him, and then there you go. Cell is just like, well, there was about 4 opportunities where people were well stronger than he was, and they couldn't get the job done.
Let me go! Let me go!
I mean, just look at this. Like this... You're trying to tell me that those guys couldn't have gotten the hell away from that plant or that area while Piccolo and Cell fought, or 16 and Cell fought? They had ample opportunities to live. It was their own ineptitude that killed them.
All I have left to absorb before I can become a perfect being. You should feel
I do like Cell's design, and I actually grew to like the androids. It took me a long time. I used to think the androids were pretty much useless, but, you know, you gotta really step back when you watch this show and put yourself in the shoes of the saga that it's portraying, because if you go in and you're like, man, I know that there's Super Saiyan 2, and there's Cell, and there's all that, you have to realize that at the point, they actually believed that the androids were the ultimate villains, because they were. In Trunks' timeline, they absolutely dominated everybody, whereas in this timeline, they aren't. I think they're as strong. The only issue is that they knew about them, so they actually prepared for them. Which, I think the funny part about the whole future versus, you know, first things first, I think the number one thing that should have been addressed is why Goku never told them about the hyperbolic time chamber. In the timeline where they die, because I know that Goku succumbs to the heart virus, but he he never told them about the hyperbolic time chamber, not once, so nobody actually knew about it. I think maybe, I don't think anybody's been in there besides him at that point. I think maybe there was a hand, I'd have to look into that. It's actually really interesting. Because had Goku told them in the present, where they die, then all it takes is Vegeta going in for a day and he dominates them. Let's just be realistic, because he already does it once and comes out and can beat second form Cell, which we all know that 18 is not that strong. 17 definitely isn't that strong. So, oh yeah, this is absorbs Krillin. So, this is beautifully done. What would happen if he absorbs somebody else? Now, I don't think this is what happens per se, because he has drank a ton of people before. But in this scenario, if he absorbs them, does he actually transform into them? And would he be weaker as a result? Because from what I understand, absorption works a lot like...
Did to Krillin. I swear, if it's the last thing I do.
Lost too much power. Yamcha, it's time to go.
Because at this point, they're stronger. Like, can't he reject it? Like, we know he can regurgitate them, but like...
A cold-blooded assassin.
I don't know. This is one of the scenarios that actually makes me wonder if he would get weaker as a result of absorbing Krillin.
I'll take care of this.
I mean, we got Yamcha and Tien thinking they can beat me now. And I look like a Cell Jr. If I'm actually a Cell Jr., there's no way these guys win.
I'm not gonna let some punk like you walk all over me.
Wait till you get a taste of the legendary Wolf Fang's fist.
Ooh, I like juicy sound effect. Hey, I like what that bottom line just said. You want to go back there and read that? Me losing to Yamcha. Not happening, bud, I promise. Oh god, he's pathetic. Still keeps perfect Cell voice. I like that. Actually, no, it's imperfect Cell's voice. Oh boy. Oh no. Okay. I can accept losing to Raditz. I can accept losing to Cell. I will not accept losing to dear old Daddy Yamcha. That will not happen. Ooh. He blocked it all the way till the end. Still ate the combo anyway. I think he's just Krillin's, I think it's an alternate form for Krillin, because I think Krillin gets the Kamehameha anyway, so I think it was just a retextured Krillin. I don't think this is like an actual like side character that they built, because you can't use this version of him in the game other than this moment. Oh, thank you. Oh boy, I can't honestly tell you how quickly I'd have shut this game off if we would have just lost to Yamcha.
You can't send Yamcha to fight me all by himself.
Dude, come on! Don't you know what universe you're in? These idiots do this all the time. All it takes is them teaming up on you, and you lose. But of course they're not gonna do that.
My crybaby!
Man, that is a fate worse than death.
I guess 10 days is just too long to wait for the tournament.
I like how Cell did that. I will give him mad props. Just chilling out during that wait period. What a boss. He really believed he was going to win. And by all accounts, he should have won. He had the chance. He just whipped it just like everybody else in that saga did. Alright, so that wraps up the what-if scenarios. So like I said, you get a couple of extra episodes per part, so you get this mutually deadly foe, Saiyan attack. And the way you can tell that they're what-if scenarios is they get the character silhouettes in the background. So the main storyline doesn't get that. Meanwhile, all the extras get the portrait of who you will be playing as a reminder that these are not technically a part of the main storyline. Which is funny. If you go back and you play the game from here, you actually get all the episodes in order. So this is actually the true way to play the game. In fact, I think what I should have done was not done a new game, but I wanted to show you guys from the start what happens when you play the game. You get just the chunks about Goku and then, of course, a little bit about Gohan there at the end. But all the stuff in between that fills in the gaps in the storyline is stuff that you get as additional content. If you play the game now, storyline from part 1, you get all of it instead of just the parts that are deemed important to the people who made the game. I think it's Funimation and whoever else signed off. Bandai. Yes, so whatever Bandai deemed necessary in the storyline. So that wraps up the campaign. Now if we back out, you gotta love these beautiful loading screens. Did we unlock the Legend of Hercule? And if not, what does a guy gotta do to unlock? Cool, here's a little mini tutorial for you guys. Blah, blah, blah. Well worth. Appreciate it, though.
Welcome. I'll sell you all kinds of capsules.
Oh, boy. Huh. So now I gotta...
Bye-bye.
Huh. Now I gotta get the Legend of Hercule. Well, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. It was already time up anyway. In the next part, we will be doing the Legend of Hercule after I hunt it down and purchase it through whatever method I can find in order to do so. I think you have to beat the World Tournament a few times. I may actually just record it and show you guys some easy methods to beating the game. Otherwise, the game's wrapped. We're done. So the main story is done. The next 2 episodes will be bonus episodes if you guys want to check them out. As always, I appreciate you guys coming out. Thanks for enjoying. I don't think that's actually a thing, but oh well. Thanks for coming out. Hope you guys have a good one, and I will catch you guys in the next episode.